Chris, what is our fourth main topic today?
This one is from Nathan Edington. Hey, John, my question is about the Batman. What are your predictions about the box office for the Batman? Spider-Man No Way Home did really well during the pandemic. Will the Batman be successful too?
All right, thanks a lot for saying that in. And that has been really the big question that's been out and about for a while is like, how is Batman going to do? Now, we've all already established it's my number one most anticipated film of the year. Like, I'm losing my mind. The fact that it's in March 4th, I'm trying not to every day. You know what? Starting tomorrow, we're probably going to start every show with a countdown clock about how far we are away from the opening of the Batman. It is my most anticipated film of the year. I cannot wait to watch it. Everything they have put out has looked amazing. Every promo. That one poster wasn't so great, but aside from that, every promo, every TV spot, every movie trailer. The best thing about our movie-going experience watching Moonfall was they showed that big, full, glorious, Batman trailer up there on that big prime screen. It was fantastic. But the question has been, how is it going to do at the box office? And it's difficult to say for any movie that's still a month out. And we are 1 month and 3 days. See, the countdown starts now. We are 1 month and 3 days away from the Batman hitting theaters and us seeing it. You got to get to within about a week or two to really get a sense of the momentum building and all that kind of stuff. I've always thought this, though. It's not going to do Spider-Man numbers.
No.
Spider-Man came out, and Ray, you're going to have to double check this for me. The opening weekend box office for Spider-Man, I think it was 250? I want to say 250, but Ray, if you can look that up for me at any rate. So how's this going to do? I don't see the Batman doing that as much as I want it to. No. It's a different kind of movie and all that kind of stuff. There's going to be, again, we've talked about this. There are hurdles with the Batman. Hurdle number one, the Batman doesn't have the best rep right now with some average movie fans. While I certainly like Batman versus Superman and Justice League and things like that, there are a lot of people who didn't like those things.
You're talking about the domestic opening?
The domestic opening weekend, yeah.
260.
260, okay. So I knew it was right around the $250 million range. Thanks, Ray. So it's got that going against it. There's a little bit of confusion in that we've got another movie coming out that's got a couple of Batmen in it with Michael Keaton and Ben Affleck. And then there's some animated stuff coming as well. And so there's a little bit of confusion with it as well. And there's also, I hate to bring it up every time, but there's also that contingent of moviegoers out there who look at Batman and go, Twilight Boy. And that's it. To them, it's just Twilight Boy. They don't know any of the other movies that he's done. And I get that. So it's got a number of big obstacles in front of it. But I still think it's going to be big. And now actually Variety thinks it's going to be awfully big too. Variety wrote the following. Joaquin Phoenix's devilish turn in Joker demonstrates that DC can go dark, and we mean Scorsese-level darkness, and still become an insanely profitable box office sensation. Of course, the Joker made over $1 billion at the box office. Comic book adventures have essentially been pandemic-proof at the box office. I wouldn't say that. And Batman is one of the most ubiquitous masked heroes on the planet. Add Robert Pattinson as a moody, enigmatic Cape Crusader and Zoe Kravitz as Catwoman, and yeah, says Variety, this movie is going to be huge. That's what they're saying. Now, I did a little bit of reading also over at the good folks over at Box Office Pro, and they are not putting out their official numbers yet. That's coming in the next week. They're putting out their official projections in the next week. But I talked to some people over there, and they're saying it's going to be big. Like very, very big. Their tracking right now shows something very, very, very big. So, how big will it be? Taking into consideration on the pros, it's Batman. The trailers are awesome. Robert Pattinson has a big fan base. All that kind of stuff. Juxtaposed against the fact that Batman has a middling kind of reputation right now because of some of the divisive stuff. The fact that Robert Pattinson has a lot of fans. He has some detractors as well, unfortunately. As well as we've got other Batman coming. There might be a little bit of confusion. Like, wait a minute, I thought Ben Affleck was Batman. Wait, what? Is this happened before or after Justice League? Like, so there's going to be some of that confusion with people, understandably. I'm ready to make my prediction right now, which I reserve the right to change as we get closer to Batman. My prediction right now, $150 million opening weekend. By far the biggest opening weekend, I think, other than Spider-Man, that we've had in the post-pandemic era. But right now, I'm seeing a big number of $150 million opening weekend for the Batman. And then, as far as what kind of legs it'll have, that's all going to depend on how good or bad the movie is. Hey guys, we want to take a second and thank the sponsor of today's episode, Stamps.com. Now, you know Stamps.com. They've been supporting the John Campea Show for a while here. Now, let's face it. Going to the post office is time-consuming and really not the way you want to be spending your time. And that's why I highly recommend to do your mailing and shipping online with Stamps.com. Stamps.com allows you to mail and ship anytime, anywhere, right from your computer. You can send letters, ship packages, and you can pay a lot less with discounted rates from UPS, USPS, and more. You see, that's why Stamps.com is a must-have for any business. Whether you're a small office sending out invoices, an online seller shipping out your orders, whether you're somebody who's just trying to send things out to your friends and family, or if you're a giant warehouse, like sending out thousands of packages a day, Stamps.com can handle all of it with absolute ease. And here's the best thing. With Stamps.com, you get up to 40% off of post office rates and up to 62% off UPS shipping rates. And this is why Stamps.com is an absolute no-brainer. It saves you time, it saves you money. It's no wonder that nearly 1 million small businesses already use Stamps.com. So stop wasting your time going to the post office and go to Stamps.com instead. There's no risk. And with my promo code Campea, just go up to that microphone up in the corner, click on that and enter my code Campea. You get a special offer that includes a 4-week trial plus free postage and a digital scale, no long-term commitments or contracts needed. Again, just go to Stamps.com, click on that microphone at the top and enter the promo code Campea. Stamps.com. Never go to the post office again. Rob, you've been watching all this stuff. You've been seeing everything coming. Time to make a guess. Where do you see the Batman opening, and why do you see it opening there? What are some of the interesting points there for this?
Well, I think 150 million is a good guess. Here's my variables. It's a 3-hour movie, so there's less show times in a day.
That's one I forgot to bring up. Very good point.
So that's kind of academic. It really depends on how many screens will it open on, and what will be the per screen average. And another thing, John, that's a real big variable for me is, I watched the funeral scene again this morning, like just because, and the way this movie does not look, it looks very adult in tone. It looks more along the lines of a Christopher Nolan kind of a movie, but even more serious. I think it really, and this is going to seem strange to say, but Batman is kind of a 4-quadrant movie. But if the subject matter is too adult in its tone, and it looks like it could skew that direction, it might affect how family audiences will flock to this movie. Whereas Spider-Man No Way Home was a family crowd pleaser of a movie. And I think the tone of this film could actually really affect its box office. Look, if it comes out and it's a kick-ass experience the way Joker was for a lot of people, and that certainly wasn't a family film and it made $1 billion, you could be looking at those kinds of numbers. But I think 150 million to start is not a bad guess. But I would say if it's not quite 150 million, it's less than that. I don't think it's going to be more than that, only because of those variables, the family audience, the running time.
All right, Chris. By the way, before we get to Chris, I'll let you guys know that I want to know what you guys think. So for those of you watching live, I just put in a poll in the live chat there for you guys to jump in on and weigh in on. And already 350 of you guys have already responded. And I simply asked, will the Batman open over or under 150 million? Because that's kind of the line I'm setting. 62% of you guys right now are saying over. 38% of you guys are saying under. I'm going to leave that poll up for the next 5 or 10 minutes. So go in there. Tell me what you guys think. Will it be over or under 150 million? Chris, you've been seeing the whole development of this, the ad campaign, the things working for it, the things working against it. Where do you see this thing opening, and what do you think the key variable is going to be in making it come to that number?
I think it's going to be under. I really do. I think the marketing of this is a dark film, and I think that isn't going to be as enticing, like Rob was saying, for families to bring their kids to. I mean, if I'm babysitting your kid, we're going to go see that. We're going to go, I don't know, Texas Chainsaw Massacre. We're going to have a fun time, kids. But I feel like that's part of it. And also, I mean, this is where my bias shows, because I do like Marvel properties more. Those are the comics that I grew up with. And so, Spider-Man, I knew I was going to see multiple times over the weekend, right? And then Batman, that depends on how I feel about it. So I think the longevity of this too is that it's not going to hit anywhere close to Spider-Man's numbers later on down the run.
Yeah, and again, it doesn't need to hit Spider-Man numbers because
Yeah.
Spider-Man's that's a family film.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
a lot of different things. Of
course.
And it's also coming. Spider-Man is coming from a position of strength. The MCU is going from victory to victory, highlight to highlight, and all that kind of stuff, and it's coming off of great previous films as well, and blah blah. Whereas Batman is coming off some films that, while I certainly really like them, have been a little divisive amongst people. Again, there's multiple Batman going on. They don't even know which universe is taking in place in. I love the fact that you brought up the 3-hour thing.
Yeah.
And that could become a little bit daunting. But I'm telling you what, I still
not
think there's
going.
going to be a lot of people out there.
I'm going twice.
Ray's going twice.
Yeah.
I think there's still going to be a lot of people out there that are going to be very interested in this.
Oh, dude,
And
no doubt. This doesn't look. It looks so good.
it looks so good. And by the way, we've got over 1,000 votes there in the live chat. And the final thing is 61% of you are saying it will be over $150 million. 39% of you are saying under. And again, we'll have to revisit this issue as we get a little bit closer to the movie coming out. But that's what we think of it for now. Question is for you guys. What do you think about this? With all the buzz, the promotion going into high gear, some of the confusion, all the stuff, the pros and the cons. Right now, a month away from release, how do you see the Batman opening? Do you think it's generated enough interest in movie fans to go out in bigger numbers or just good numbers? Like, however you guys are thinking about it, jump down into the comment section below and let us know your thoughts.